like the one you showed us earlier. So you had 2 cards?
No, only one.
Huh? What do you mean? I thought that card just had some rules for the Nonary game on it.
And other stuff, probably.
Yes, it did. And those were the rules I read you. However, they were not the only thing on the card. There was something I didn't read. Well, perhaps I should say there was something I couldn't read.
And that was?
Tell no one of the events that took place 9 years ago. Tell, and I activate your sister's detonator. It's a threat on our lives.
Oh. Well, well, what about Clover? Did she get a message from Zero too?
I don't believe she did. But doesn't it strike you as strange that Zero would shut my mouth, but not hers?
Yeah.
To be on the safe side, however, I told her it was best not to tell anyone. Still, apparently she told you. That girl.
What's wrong with her telling me? I figured some stuff out with the things she told me.
She's not gonna blow up now, is she?
I mean, it looks like the whole activate her detonator thing was just a bluff. She's prancing around downstairs happy as a clam now that you're back.
That's very true. I've decided I can trust you. I've decided to tell you the truth.
Thanks.
The chance that Santa is Zero is very high. I feel I can assume Santa doesn't have the time to observe us at the moment. And at any rate, even if he were, I very much doubt he would kill us.
Why?
Clover told me about the 4-leaf clover, about the words.
It's true.
If he knew about that, then he was in my group during the first experiment. I'm sure of it. He wouldn't kill us.
The Easter
No
Bunny is
matter
one?
what the situation was.
Hey, Snake?
Yes, I know. You want to know what happened during the experiment.
Yeah.
How much do you know?
Clover told me about...
Oh, if Santa is 0, the Easter Bunny is 1?
I see. The morphogenetic field in the experiments 9 years prior. How the experiments had taken place simultaneously at 2 locations, one being the ship and the other being a building in Nevada.
Which is where the 3rd game takes place, I think.
And the girl that died during the experiment.
Do we get a name?
She told you all that, did she? At any rate, I now know how much you've learned. All that remains for us to determine
is who did this and why, right?
I wanted a name if
Yes.
he died. Aoi, Light, or
Can you tell me
Nona?
what happened?
yes.
Might be Nona.
The people who organized the initial
You know, Nonary
experiment
game?
were from a company called Cradle Pharmaceuticals.
Which case, Aoi and Light are the two,
There were 4 of them running the show.
two of the daughters of Lotus.
Gentaro Hongo,
Not Lotus.
Nagisa Nijisaki,
No, yeah, Lotus.
Teruaki Kubota, Kagechika Musashido.
Yep.
Hongo was the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals. Nijisaki was his right-hand man and did the lion's share of the planning. Kubota led the company's research and development
Kubota's
division.
the 9th man. That's what he looks like. And that guy looks like the...
Musashido was their majority stockholder.
That mustache I know anywhere. He's the captain.
It was these 4 people who planned the initial experiment.
And I
Let
think
me
the guy in the
simplify it for
purple
you.
one...
Hongo
is-
designed it, and Nijisaki put it all together.
I think he's the dude that Ace killed.
Kubota developed the technology required, and Musashido provided the cash.
Huh, so it's Hongo, Nijisaki, Kubota, Musashido.
Of course, more than 4 people were required to conduct an experiment of this scale.
Who was this the fourth one? I missed the fourth one. Nishisaki, Kabuto, Mushido, and the other
To
one.
that end, they organized a top-secret team to assist them with their research. All in all, they gathered 10 people or so. Those 10 completed their team, and they were able to begin the project. They named it the Nonary Project. The purpose of the experiment was to research the prospect of controlling a human mind through sheer will. The vessel, I suppose you could say, for this control was the morphogenetic field.
Huh.
Why did the glycerin suddenly begin to crystallize? Why did the crystal structure of EDT undergo a sudden change? Why did the rats improve their puzzle-solving skills with each generation? Experiments with humans produced the same results. The more people who knew the answer to a question, the more there were who could answer correctly without having seen the problem before. Why is that? How could it happen?
Magic.
The answer is that the shape of the answer has been stored in a field invisible to the naked eye. And through that field, the resonant event transmits information related to that answer. That's essentially the idea behind morphogenetic fields.
But that's just a theory.
Can't bring yourself to believe it?
No.
Yeah.
But I know
Let's say
there's science
someone
behind
killed
some of
another
that.
person because the devil told them to do it.
Eh?
Whether the devil exists or not has no relevance to the murder.
Nope.
They believe the devil exists. Whether or not he does is immaterial.
So what matters here is that Hongo believed in the morphogenetic field.
That's right, Dim. Come back again.
That's right.
And do it without the
But I
dying
still
part.
don't get it. You said they wanted to figure out how to control people. Right? That is what you were saying.
Yes.
So how are they going to do that with a morphogenetic field?
I'll keep it simple.
Carefully?
Let's suppose 10,000 people have solved a certain problem. The chance of you knowing that answer, even if no one has told you, will go up. Let's have another example, shall we? Say 1 million people were to do a handstand right now. Tomorrow, the chances of you doing a handstand would be higher, even if you had heard nothing of this hypothetical mass handstanding.
Dude, if someone did a mass handstanding, I'd do a handstand.
Mankind's thought process and actions are all part of a resonant event. All of the resonant events encoded in the fields are projected onto you.
This is literally... There's already science actually
Of course,
behind this.
This assumes you believe in this theory. Do you follow so far?
But they did other stuff instead of handstands.
Yeah.
Now, if there was a person who had the same effect as those millions of people, what would happen? If that one person were to do a handstand, other people would find themselves wanting to do handstands as well. Can you imagine what a person with powers like that would be able to do?
Come on, there's no way.
I'm not done. Imagine another scenario. Imagine another person.
Become another
This is
person.
an
Become
ordinary
another
person.
person.
Let's say he does a handstand. What if there was someone who could grab the resonant event he created by doing that and use it to make other people do handstands?
Now we're getting crazy.
What would happen then?
People would do handstands.
A person who has the power to write to the field, and someone who can read from the same. You could think of them as the writer and the reader, or the transmitter and the receiver. What would the world be like if there were people with abilities like these.
Bad stuff.
So the transmitter's resonant event can be transmitted through the field and sent to the receiver. And then the transmitter can control the receiver however they wish. That's what you're saying, right?
I so wish we had played this one first.
Yes.
Gosh.
Close enough, at least.
Come
But I
on,
guess
that's
it's
just crazy.
It's opening up more, or it's like
Well,
more
if you want
light
to
bulbs
prove
are going
that,
on from the third
Then
one
you'll
at
have to
least.
test it first.
Yeah, I'm with you with some of this stuff is just really cool.
At least, that was how they thought. That was why they decided to do their experiment. That was how the Nonary project began. By the way, Junpei, have you ever heard of the Gansfeld experiment?
Yeah, that was an experiment in telepathy, right? You place a pair of subjects in separate rooms. Then you show one a picture and ask the other what they see.
It hurts my head a little bit too, Will.
Interesting.
Not just you.
I'm impressed. Yes, that is exactly correct.
So, why did you bring up the Gansfeld experiment?
It was used to screen subjects for the Nonary project.
That would make sense.
The hospital in a remote town was affiliated with Cradle Pharmaceuticals.
And that's how the kids were selected.
Hongo used it to conduct experiments on visiting children in secret.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, he found, had potential. He began to gather children that showed promise. Children that seemed as though they might be able to access the field. Of course, none of them volunteered. They were kidnapped. There were 9 pairs of siblings taken, for 18 children total.
So this opens up a lot of things. If Santa was in the last, this one thing 9 years ago, it means the one person who died was probably his sister. And so far, he's gotten, it looks like 3 out of the 4 people killed that started the whole experiment from Cradle Pharmaceuticals. I think. Yeah.
For reasons that were not fully understood at the time, each pair had 1 transmitter and 1 receiver. They were split perfectly. As such, the 18 children were split into 2 groups of 9. The children who were put into Group Q were the ones who excelled at transmitting. They were transferred to the mock experiment building known as Building Q in the Nevada desert. The children who excelled at receiving were put in Group A.
So is that where Clover was?
Group A was then placed on the former hospital ship Gigantic.
Oh no, maybe not.
From the experiments he had conducted so far, Hongo had learned the following. There are 2 things that can increase one's resonance with the fields.
Emergence and all that. Yeah, I'm glad we didn't try to
The
do this
first
one last
is
night.
epiphany.
It would have been too long.
The other is danger. Have you ever been faced with an especially difficult problem and thought about it very long and very hard until finally an answer suddenly appeared in your mind?
By Jove, I think I've got it. One of those.
It may seem obvious to say so, but that is what is meant by epiphany. The information obtained through that epiphany can be easily transmitted through the fields, where it can be easily interpreted. Adding danger to that equation allows for even easier field access.
You should be able to read it easier now.
That's where Hongo came in. They set up a number of puzzles across the Gigantic. The participants had to solve each one before they could move to the next room. Of course, he hadn't forgotten to include danger. He had detonated a bomb on the hull of the Gigantic. The children in Group A were forced to play the Nonary game as the ship sunk.
dorky happy Monday.
By forcing the children into a life-or-death situation, Hongo hoped to increase the likelihood of their tapping into the fields.
We're getting a lore bomb right now.
The children from Group Q, on the other hand, were confined to the mock experiment building, Building Q.
That's where
Building Q duplicated the interior and puzzles of the gigantic exactly. Every detail was exactly the same.
So we might not even be in a boat.
Explain the situation to the children in Group Q.
We might not be on a boat.
Solve the puzzles you find throughout the rooms. When you have the answers, transmit that information to the children in Group A. If you succeed, they will be able to solve the puzzles and escape. But if you fail, then the gigantic will sink, and your brothers and sisters will drown. Those were his orders. Do you know why the astronauts of Apollo 13 were able to return to Earth safely?
Tom Hanks.
It was because NASA had access to a replica of the Apollo 13 capsule.
Oh.
All of the equipment, the instruments, everything. All of it identical. Everything was just like the real Apollo 13. NASA was able to replicate the situation the astronauts found themselves in.
That's pretty cool.
By putting themselves in the same situation, they attempted to solve the problems the astronauts were dealing with. Once they found solutions, they reported their findings to the men aboard the actual capsule.
That's pretty
That
darn cool.
was how they were able to return safely.
And Tom Hanks.
It was the same with the gigantic in Building Q. The children from Group Q had to use the power of epiphany to solve the puzzles they found. And transmit what they learned through the fields.
So which one was Santa?
The children in Group A, however,
Was he a receiver or a transmitter?
they had to access the fields to learn how they might advance to the next stage. That is the simplest explanation I can manage.
That's pretty good.
Huh.
Good explanation.
Hey, Junpei, Snake! How much longer are you two gonna sit around on those bony asses?
My butt is not bony.
Get down here already!
It's just flat.
He's right. Let's
I could
go,
almost
shall we?
play the game like
We don't
this.
have much time. We need to get out of here, and soon.
So you guys could actually see better. I might try that.
Hold it. There's one more thing I want to ask you.
I'm just going to make this a little bigger, actually. Hold on. There we go.
Are you sure that there were 18 kids?
Why?
Well, I thought it was only 16.
Oh, yes. That was what they said on the news, wasn't it?
Did 2 die?
Yes. I have no doubt that 18 children were abducted and used in Hongo's experiment.
That's a very good point. The newspaper did say 16,
After
not 18.
all, you couldn't exactly play a Nonary game with any less, could you?
I missed that little detail.
Well, yeah, but are you saying that the news got it wrong?
No.
Yes, I am. There were
They
two
were
more
told
children.
to do it wrong.
However, they had no relatives that I'm aware of. I imagine no one filed a police report when they went missing.
It's making more sense.
They were brother and sister, like Clover and I. The brother's name was Aoi.
Wait. Stop.
The sister's name was...
Hold on. Always a bro. Male. And we said, was it Nona was Lotus's daughter?
Her name was... Her name was Akane.
What? Okay.
That was the girl who died.
Akane is probably just a normal name. You're assuming that connects to other storylines from past trials I wasn't there for? No, this doesn't connect to much of anything. I'm just confused.
Akane Kurashiki died. 9 years ago?
So is the Akane we know even Akane?
Then, who is June? No. It's impossible.
Yeah, they're supposed to be... No, the twins are, Lotus's kids. And one of their names was Nona. And the other one's probably named as Light.
It can't be true. Akane isn't that uncommon of a name. If Snake had known her last name, that's a different matter entirely.
Don't, Dim.
So they share a name.
I love getting these
A lot of other
shocks.
people do too. It doesn't mean anything. It was someone else. Of course it was.
Is something wrong, Junpei? Your breathing sounds strange.
What was their last name, Snake?
Oh, no, it's nothing.
I need their last name.
Let's get back down there, all right?
Please give me their last name.
I couldn't do it. Why didn't I ask? What's her last name?
I don't know, Junpei. You tell me.
I just couldn't get the words to come out.
Well, that's a thing. But yeah, that is pretty freaky. Also, I could almost play on my OBS like this, but there's a delay and it's going to annoy me. So when they do like text boxes, I'll go to this way, so I'm out of the way. Otherwise, I'm going to look at you. I think that could work though, because I have the OBS on my gigantic TV, and literally the screen that shows what's streaming right now is the exact size of the monitor that I'm currently looking at. Which is weird. But cool. Didn't it say 5 in the shadow picture? Yeah. Take the 5th volume. We could have just taken them all off the shelf and found that. Secrets. What do you mean, what was that sound? You had to have gone, what's that? And looked. But it is pretty nifty, I agree. What does it say? 13, 14, 10, 13? I love Roman numerals. Let me just write those down. 13. That is 14, right? Yeah, 14. 10 and 13. Looks like an output mirror or monitor. I bet the letters you type in the keyboard will show up here. I can't believe it. Keyboard in front of numbers, Roman numerals on the wall. Gotta get a hint of some sort. Yep. Those are Roman numerals. Do you think we just put in the numbers from the wall on the keyboard? No, you can't. The keyboard doesn't have any number keys. You can't type stuff like 3 or 4. Then that means... Type in the letters? Wait! Hexadecimal thing. 13 is D. And then E. 10 is A. We're just dead. I'm glad I kept that little hexadecimal thing there. What a great thing to type. You can erase what you typed with control. They didn't even put a backspace? Come on. Come on. Come on. And the enter is the space key. Oh. You did it, Junpei. Unlocked. Oh there, don't get too excited. You already knew hexadecimal? This is the first time I was introduced to it, Wit, so you already were ahead of me on there. Password was dead, remember? This makes you think waiting for us isn't good. No, it's Alice, I think. Such an old lady. We can't be worrying about stuff like that. I mean, come on, we got it to unlock, didn't we? Let's go, hurry up. She's just really happy her brother's not dead. Yeah, it really does have a ton of it. Left or right? Well, if this was like through a kitchen, you would go through the right door. Did we just explode? Also, I hope I didn't just accidentally pick the wrong one. You make sure I wrote down.
All right, this is the next.
Used right door.
Oh, the door!
It closed.
Did that just close on its own?
Don't tell me we can't go back.
There's a lot of doors that do that.
I don't know. Let's see. Damn it.
I really hope we see the other door in here.
It looks like it locks automatically.
Is there any other way out?
Well,
oh, we
there's
see the other
another
door.
over on the right. There's a
Awesome.
card reader next to it.
We see a door.
It's got a red light on it, though, so I'm pretty sure it's locked, too.
But there is a card reader, right?
Yeah.
Then perhaps if we find a key card, we could open the door and leave?
Well, yeah, that might work, but...
There's at least 9 doors that have done that.
Hey!
It's true. Or
Wait a
10.
minute. Are you saying we're gonna have to search through this room for one little card?
Oh, man.
This should have Alice in it, though.
Looks that way.
No way!
For real?
There's just all the card readers.
Well, we can sit down and
Oh,
wait
good
to
memory
die
there,
if
Tim.
that's what you prefer.
That's a good one.
I rather doubt that, however. So it would be wise to start looking. We haven't much time. Let's find that key card. Oh, and the Neptune key as well. We won't be able to get through the hallway without it. All right then, let's begin.
Dude, this last little ending on the flowchart is deceptively long. I know what Giggs was talking about yesterday. Wow, okay.